Is it absolutely necessary? I would say no. Do I recommend it? I highly recommend it, and I'll tell you why. Hello everyone, it's Jason, and I'm here answering your questions about Zen, meditation, your practice life, any kind of question. Today's question is about having a teacher. Is it necessary? Let me read the question. Hello, Jason. Can you talk about the importance of having a Zen teacher? Is it absolutely necessary? Zen Master Gong said there are 3 conditions that are necessary for you to find your true self. Now, I do have an issue with this statement. I'll get to that in a second. But he said the first one is a practicing place. The second is a teacher. And the third is a Dharma friend. The issue I have with find your true self, now this probably has to do with translation. This was translated from Korean to English. But there's nothing to find. We're not finding our true self. Our true self is already here in this moment. We're just realizing our true self. So I want to point that out first. The first condition, a practicing place, seems pretty obvious. I think when you're beginning, it's really important to have a space where you can put all your focus and attention into practice. Many of us practice at home. I know I'm super grateful to have a practicing place here at my house. Even after practicing 25 years, it's really important for me to have that space. Now, some of us don't have that kind of situation where we have a space to practice meditation. So maybe going to a Zen center is necessary. Maybe finding some space outside or in the woods or somewhere that you can go, again, to put all your attention and focus on meditation practice. I find it very beneficial. So we can carry this meditation practice throughout our lives from moment to moment. The second condition is having a teacher. Now, earlier I said, is it absolutely necessary? No, but I highly recommend it. And the reason why is, first, many of us, when we're starting meditation, have a lot of ideas about meditation. And there's a lot of pitfalls that we fall into. So having a teacher is very helpful to clarify those things so that we're practicing correctly. Also, there's a lot of experiences, thoughts, and feelings that come up during sitting meditation. And I found it helpful to talk to a teacher about those things, because usually a teacher has experienced many of these things, have been through a lot, and they've digested some of those things. So they have some wisdom that can be helpful to help us digest these experiences as they are appearing. I'm also thinking about my teacher. Sometimes he would say things or do things that I wasn't really happy with. And I thought that was very helpful because it showed me my own mind, what I was holding to, what I was attaching to, what I was creating in my own mind. So I can see my delusions very clearly and see through them. So even though it's difficult at times, it's also very helpful for our practice. The third condition is having a Dharma friend. Now, I would say out of these 3 conditions that this one is the most important. Even Zen Master Gong, who talked about these 3 conditions, he once said that the influence of a Dharma friend is stronger than a teacher's teaching. In my last video, I talked a little bit about wisdom. There was a student who asked Zen Master Sungsong, how do we gain wisdom? And he said, only together action. So Dharma friend is usually, we think about people we practice with. But it doesn't necessarily have to be people we practice with. It could be people who we live with, people who we work with. And the reason why is sometimes when we're by ourselves or practicing meditation just by ourselves, we don't get to see our own karma. And what that means is we don't get to see our own mind. We sometimes don't get to see what we're holding, what our strong ideas or beliefs are, our opinions, all of these kinds of things. Sometimes we're actually creating our own world in our own mind. We're creating our own truth because the world's not being reflected back to us. We're just sitting with our own mind. So the advantage of practicing with people, well, actually there's two advantages. I would say the first one, when we practice with people, we get inspiration. Because I would have to say there's not too many people interested in sitting meditation. And sitting meditation meaning to understand our true self and finding a way to use that to help this world. So first of all, practicing with people with the same direction gives us some encouragement. It's very difficult sometimes to sit meditation by ourselves. So when we're sitting with others, it's kind of like going to the gym. Some people find it going to the gym to work out with other people kind of gives them motivation to actually do it. It's the same way with sitting meditation. The other benefit we get from practicing with other people is, again, we get to see our own mind. Maybe you're sitting in a retreat and somebody keeps moving and shifting, and you can feel your checking mind appear. Like, what is that person doing? Can't they just sit still? It's ruining my meditation. Or maybe they're sniffling or breathing heavily. Many of us who've practiced with other people have obviously experienced this, but it's very valuable. Again, because you can see your likes and dislikes, your strong attachments, your opinions, your ideas very clearly. So at that point, when you see them, what do? The choice is we can hold them or we can let them go. And when we're practicing by ourselves, sometimes we don't see that clearly and we become our attachments, our strong ideas and beliefs and opinions. And that ends up just causing more suffering for ourselves and others. When I was the housemaster living at the Providence Zen Center, there was one time I remember I was giving a tour to a guest, showing him the Zen Center and the Zen Center grounds. And we're walking through the building, and there were two residents who were arguing about something. And the person looked at me and said, "I thought this was a Zen center. Isn't it supposed to be peaceful and calm?" And I looked at the person and said, "Not always." Because anywhere where you have human beings, whether that's your home situation or your workplace, or even living at a temple, people bump into each other. And I think that's a good thing because we can take advantage of that. When we can see our mind clearly, again, we have a choice. Do we hold it or do we let it go? And this is where wisdom can appear and grow in our lives. Earlier, I mentioned about having a teacher, but if we can really see our mind, see our karma clearly, and let it go, then everything becomes our teacher. Animals become our teacher. Nature becomes our teacher. The person cutting us off on the freeway becomes our teacher. The boss who is yelling at us at work becomes our teacher. Our friend or family member at home who's not happy with us is our teacher. Everything becomes our teacher because we see everything clearly. We can digest all of our experiences. This develops into wisdom, and it's wisdom we can use to help this world. Those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know what you think about all of this. These three conditions, are they necessary? Is having a teacher important? What else do you consider your teacher? I'd be very interested in hearing from you. If you have a question you want me to make a video about, let me know in the comments below or email me, jason@jasonquinnzen.com. And as always, I will see you very soon.